Hello, this is Harrison, and today I'm going to teach you, in my opinion, the proper way to export drum files from Pro Tools. Let's go ahead and get into it. Step one, I would say, take a picture of your drum set. I know that this is a software, this is what I used. This is what a real drum set looks like. Okay? Words cannot fully describe what a drum set is, and a picture does a very good job, especially when you are correlating it to the documentation. Okay, let's get into labeling. For kick, typically you have multi-track microphones for a singular kick. Same thing for the snare. All these tracks are typically mono for me. So let's go ahead and name this, kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom. I don't necessarily do this all the time. I sum these together while I'm tracking into one mono track with its own EQ and compression. Same thing for the snare top and snare bottom. I get that blend from the get-go, and it's what I want for the song if I'm producing. And it streamlines, file sharing, all the other kinds of stuff. Sometimes mixers will ask for the multi-tracks of those. I ask them to use with what I got, so that's fine. But kick, snare, super simple. I got 3 toms in here. I got 2 racks and I got 1 floor. I would name your toms by what kind of tom they are. So rack versus floor. And I name them according to what cymbal side of the drum set they're closest to. Take a look at the picture. Rack 1 hi-hat is closest to the hi-hat. And so on for the rack 2 and floor 1 closest to the ride, hence why they are named with what kind of drum they are, which number they are, and what they are closest to. For individual spot mics like a hi-hat, I go ahead and name that exactly what it is. Same thing for a ride and a China. There's no ride and China track in here, but that's what they would be named. In the documentation, I would mention that it is a symbol on a right-handed drummer's left side. And I would say on the right side for a China and ride, seeing that it's right there. I also forgot to mention the kick, snare, and toms are documented as such. 3 mics, 2 mics, bust down, 1 track with compression and EQ, and same thing for the rack through the floor 1, and what cymbal they are closest to. For overheads, I have hi-hat and ride. Usually I see overhead left and right, but I get convoluted perspectives from different tracking engineers. Okay? From a drummer perspective versus audience perspective. Front or back. So you got a audience guy saying, oh, the left side's the ride side. Oh, drummer perspective, you got someone saying, okay, left side, hi-hat side. So you got 2 perspectives saying 2 different things for a left and right labeling. Same thing for the rooms. Got a mic over here. Okay, that's the left side. Got a mic over here. Oh, okay, that's the left side, closer to the ride. And you got this guy saying, no, it's closer to the hi-hat. So cut that out and just say what microphone of which side of the kit symbol that it relates to. So see here, overhead hi-hat, mic pointed towards the hi-hat side of the drum set. Same thing for room hi-hat, and it says the opposite for overhead ride, pointed towards the ride side. Same thing with room ride. Every now and then you get a mono microphone like a kit mic, which will be panned center. I would document what mic that is and tell them to pan it in the center. Same thing with room ambience. Helps cut out any other confusion. Okay, now we got through the labeling. Now we're going to go through the exportation process. So let's say you have multiple mics and they're all different lengths and whatnot. I would consolidate them by hitting Shift, semicolon, selecting down, and you hit Shift Option 3 to make them all the same length. Say you had them kind of like this. Making them the same length definitely helps keep them more uniform. After that, I would select the clip and I would do 0, 1 kick, 0, 2 snare, essentially duplicating the name of the track, but putting a number in front of it in order to have them in chronological order. And that really does put that into a more streamlined import kind of thing going on. So what we're going to do next is we're going to select all of these, hit Shift Command K. And what that does is open this window. I would keep a WAV file, put the format as interleaved, and the bit depth as 24-bit, or at least whatever bit depth it was recorded at, and keep the sample rate consistent to what it was recorded at. For the destination directory, I would choose a folder that you create. I have this folder called Enemy Mine Drums on my desktop. And this right here that says resolve duplicates, this is if there's already a duplicate file in there, and this is what it's going to do in case there's a duplicate. There are no files in this folder, so I know that that duplicate issue is not going to happen. So I'm going to hit export now. Okay, let's check this folder and see we have all of these files. I'm going to hit get info and make sure that it's mono, and it is on more info. So what I would do next is I would get the documentation. So I'm going to download this as a PDF. And as you can see, I've done a handful of takes here already. And I'm going to just drag this into this folder. So I have the files the way that I wanted to export them. And now I have the documentation. I'm going to select all of these and then right click and hit compress. This creates a zip file. Think of a zip file like a bag, and you're putting all of your files in there and you zip it up and they're all together. This is convenient because you don't have to send all of these files individually. You can just zip them up, rename it, call this Enemy Mined Drums. And that is your file that you send to whoever it goes to. At this point, you're done. But I always double check by importing these files. So I'm going to hit Shift Command I. And I'm going to go over to desktop as though I had just downloaded these. I'm going to hit add. And we're going to have some discrepancies with the labeling. We're going to have 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, whatever. That's because I've already done this. Like, it's like my 10th take. I don't know. But that's why we have these different numbers. If you've never imported these files, you're not going to have this 0.4 nonsense. It's just going to be 0.1 kick, 0.2 snare, exactly as it's supposed to be. And remember, I told you I wanted this to be mono, and they are mono. If I want to send a stereo file, when I go to export, instead of sending them to one output, I'm going to set them to 2 for stereo. But I wanted all of them to be mono. That's it. I hope I helped out. And go ahead and let me know if you got any criticisms or any other insight to help streamline this process for myself and for others. Like and subscribe, and I hope to hear from you guys soon.